How do you reduce the entire bulky content into a smaller effective paragraph? We are going to study it in summarizing. What do you have in the note making? What are the things that are mandatory that I will just look at and blindly give you marks? Those are the things that are very important, essential tools. How is a poster created? You'll have to create a poster as well. So there it will be up to 50 words. Again, 2 out of the 1 you'll have to pick, which is for 3 marks. Hello there. Hi and welcome to your English prep school classes. I am your English teacher, Kshama. I know that's a name a little difficult to pronounce and remember, but you will know me by the initials KM ma'am. I am here to take you through a prep tour. Yes, you heard it right. We are about to take a prep tour, which is nothing but a peek through into your entire journey of prep school in this academic year. I can't wait to tell you what is in there in this academic session and how much of a wonderful journey we are about to take up. Let's waste no time and dive right in. In this session, you are going to have 2 important textbooks, which is prescribed by the NCERT, named as Hornbill and Snapshots. Okay? And what is your Hornbill textbook? It is nothing but a combination of prose, poetry, non-fiction, fiction, autobiography. Basically kept to you with the intention of enhancing your reading and comprehension skills. There are a bunch of practice exercises as well. I can't wait to tell you how much of interesting and amazing stories that are put in this lesson and how many beautiful lessons and poetries are there inside this textbooks. The other textbook that you have is Snapshot, which is a supplementary textbook. And this is there for you in order to make you have an extensive reading and appreciation of the content that is there in this textbook. You read it, you enjoy it. Who knows, at the end you might be inspired to create your own content, which could be an article, a story, a poetry for that matter. Now, what is there in this session? We looked at the prescribed textbooks that are there for you in this academic year. Go buy these textbooks right now, today itself. Read it thoroughly. Do not miss out on any details because this is going to be a very fun-filled ride that we are going to take up. Okay. Now, what is inside? I'll have to show you what's inside the textbook. We'll have to open the textbook and see what's there inside. And I'm going to show you the examination pattern as well as what is the overall marks breakup. How is our final, conclusion to this entire journey will look like? What is the marks breakup? How are you allotted the marks? Let's find out. Now, over here in this textbook named Hornbill, you will have these many lessons, which are The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh, Autograph by Shirley Tolson, We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. Now, these series of lessons, I will tell you, they are very deceiving. If you go by the title, they are very deceiving. Whatever the story that is secretly hiding inside the lesson, sometimes is much far from what is the title, or sometimes it is actually somewhere related to the title. Now over here, Portrait of a Lady, we see Khushwant Singh talking about, picturing his own grandmother, just like it is, he's talking about, it feels like he's talking about some of our grandmothers itself. It depicts how wonderful relationships we have with our grandparents. Then we have a photograph. This is a nostalgic explosion of a daughter looking at the mother's photograph. Then you have We Are Not Afraid to Die. We are about to go on a voyage with this lesson. And discovering Tut. We also go to the pyramids and see some of the mummies there and understand the backstory of these mummies. Then there is Laburnum Top. We not only go on a voyage, we look at the places we are visiting with just this textbook. We are going on a voyage. We are going on the top of Laburnum Tree. Then we are going to discover Tut. Like, who is Tut? What is happening? Okay, we'll find out. Then we are going to talk about the voice of the rain. We are going to talk to the voice of the rain and understand what is happening. Then there is childhood. Are we going to talk about your childhood, my childhood? Let's figure out. Then there is, of course, this entire journey of prep school is itself an adventure. We also have a lesson named Adventure. I'm sure this path of ours is going to be a Silk Road. At the end, we have very sweet dialogue from a father to son. It's a poetry that you will enjoy and appreciate very much. So this is what is there in your Hornbill textbook. Moving forward, there are some of the writing skills that you need to practice. Trust me, these writing skills, if you have it handy, it is forever. No machine, no technology or software can replace these skills can give to you. What are the skills? There is note-making skills. How do you make efficient notes? Then how do you summarize or paraphrase whatever that you have read? How do you reduce the entire bulky content into a smaller effective paragraph? We are going to study it in summarizing. Then subtitling. It's not the movie subtitles that we are going to learn, not over here. Sorry to disappoint you. We're talking about how you can give subtitles or representatives little headings. These are more like subheadings that are given to each paragraphs. In the written context, we are going to learn subtitling. Then we have essay writing. Of course, you have learned essay writing throughout the years, right from when you were kids. But over here, let's level it up. Let's take it one step forward and make it as organized and as beautiful as possible out of our potential. Then there is letter writing, formal letter writing, informal letter writing. Let's write letters. In the era of texting and everything, let's not forget where our roots lie. Let's write letters as well. Then there is creative writing, which requires a lot of your creativity, your skills, analytical thinking skills, vocabulary and language skills. Let's enhance all of those with these writing skills. And in your textbook snapshot, which is your supplementary textbook, we have the summer of the beautiful white horses. Then we have the address. We are going to find the address. There is Mother's Day. It is a play, of course. Then you have birth, the tale of Melon City. These are the contents from your textbook snapshot, which is your supplementary reader. Moving forward, we are going to find out what is the examination pattern. How is your question paper looking like? What is there in your question paper? Let's see. It has section A, B and C. You're going to write an exam for 80 marks. 20 marks is for your internal assessment. I'll tell you what is there in your internal assessment. But how is your 80 marks divided into? What is it divided into? What kind of questions are asked? Let me give you an idea about it. And from which textbook also it will be asked. I'll tell you that as well. So first, in the section A, you'll have an unseen passage. One unseen passage. It is to assess your comprehension, your interpretation, inference, vocabulary, as well as the paragraph that is given could be factual, could be descriptive. Now, there is a quick thing that you can do in case of these unseen passages. How many marks is it for? It is for 18 marks. It is 10 plus 8. You'll have another unseen passage as well. But before that, let's talk about the first unseen passage. Here, what is the trick that you would employ for an unseen passage? It is that you go through the questions first. You read the question first and you're ready to look for what you already want the answers for. All you have to do is dig into the treasure and find out the answers for the questions that you already have in your basket. So read the questions first and then jump into the unseen paragraph. That way you can save a lot of your time. So you'll have passages that you have to read, which is around 400 to 600 words. You can finish it up in no time when you know the questions. After that, you'll have, in these unseen passages, you'll have verbal or visual inputs. You'll have statistical data, chart, pie chart or bar graphs that you have to, based on the information that is given, a paragraph or the visual input that is given, you will be asked a set of questions. What sort of questions are these? These are multiple choice or objective type of questions. Very easy. You'll have to answer it in a word or a phrase. That will fetch you how many marks? 10 plus 8. With two passages, reading of two passages and answering all the questions, there is 18 marks in your platter already. Moving forward, in the section A itself, we were talking about note making, right? How do you make efficient, organized notes? That I'm going to teach you in this journey that we are about to take up. And once when you have mastered the art of note making, this is a very easy part, I promise you. And with this part, you can earn up to 8 marks. The total of marks that you get in this part is 8 marks. 5 marks for the note that you have made and 3 marks for the summarization. Note making will fetch you 5 marks. Summarization will fetch you 3 marks. What do you have in the note making? What are the things that are mandatory that I will just look at and blindly give you marks? Those are the things that are very important, essential tools. What are those? First up, your note should have a catchy title. Then the numbering and indentation. How have you put the numbers, or how have you prepared the indentation? What is an indentation? How do you write it? Where do you write it? I'm going to teach you all. Don't worry. Then there is key or glossary. You have to use a minimum of 4 abbreviations, short forms of the words, and at the end, write it in a table so that you know what you have written. Later on, it shouldn't be like you made a note and you don't know what did you think about when you were writing it. You'll have to go back and look at it, right? So you'll have to prepare at the end a table with abbreviations and its full forms, which will also give you 1 mark. Then there is the notes that you have made, note form that you have to make. All of this will fetch you how many marks? It will fetch you 5 marks. Do not worry, do not break your head over the screens. I can hear you doing that. I am going to make this very easier for you, I promise. Then in the summarization, whatever the content that you have read, this content will be given. All you have to read the passage very carefully and then come over here. In your paper, you have to make a note out of it. Then at the end, whatever that you have read, make a summary of the same. That's all. The content, how you have expressed, content will fetch you 2 marks. And however neatly you have condensed the whole information and written it in a summary format, which should be up to 50 words, that will fetch you 3 marks. So 5 plus 3 is, it will give you 8 marks. I hope this is clear. Moving forward to section B. What is there in section B? Section B has grammar. Although explicitly there is no grammar that is there in your textbook or somewhere else, we are going to inculcate a couple of grammatical skills over here. We are going to emphasize and concentrate on a couple of grammatical skills. There will be gap filling questions, fill in the blank questions, which will be about tenses or clauses that I'm going to teach you in the later classes. That is one thing. And whole of this section will give you how many marks? 7 marks. So section A was about unseen passages and note making, summarizing. Section B starts with a little grammar, pinch of grammar over here, which is gap filling and reordering and transformation of the sentences. It could be active voice, passive voice, changing the tenses. All this reordering will also fetch you. Total 7 questions to be answered out of the 8 questions. Fill in the blanks and reordering or transforming the sentences will fetch you how many marks? 7 marks. Out of the 8 questions, you'll only have to answer 7 questions. Moving forward in section B. What is there in section B? Section B, let's find out. You have creative writing skills. This is the area, my friend, where you show your complete creativity and explore with your ideas. What do you do over here? It will fetch you how many marks? It will give you 16 marks. How are we going to award these 16 marks to you? Based on this. First up, you'll have a short writing classified. These are types of ads that you have to create. What is a classified advertisement? I'm about to tell you. It is for 50 words that you have to write the advertisement. That will give you how many marks? 3 marks. One advertisement that you have to write. There will be 2 questions that will be given. Out of the 2 questions, you pick whatever is comfortable to you, whatever that you know, whatever that is easier or you're able to express yourself effectively. Out of the 2, pick one, write up to 50 words and create your classified advertisement. There you go. You're given 3 marks. Later on, there is another short writing task where you have to create a poster. How is a poster created? You'll have to create a poster as well. So there, it will be up to 50 words. Again, 2 out of the 1 you'll have to pick, which is for 3 marks. These 3 marks, 6 marks are over. There is still 10 marks left for us to grab in. Then there is, how is this 3 marks divided? Based on what are we awarded 3 marks, ma'am? If you ask, there is format that takes away 1 mark. How have you formatted it? What is the format of it? How have you arranged the content? What is the content that you are writing? How are you writing the content? What is the content that you are writing? How are you expressing the content? All of them get 1 mark each. That is how you get your 3 marks. Later on, you have to write a short speech, which should be from 120 to 150 words. Try reaching the upper limit of the words and try writing as effectively as possible. So you have to write a speech, which will give you 5 marks. Then you'll have to write a debate. There will be visual clues or verbal cues that will be given based on what do you have to write a speech. Who are you addressing? What is happening? What is the content of the speech? Based on that, you will have to develop your own speech and debate. The clues will be given. Then there is, you might be asked, you might ask, how is the 5 marks divided, ma'am? There is format for 1 mark. You have to write your own content that gives you 2 marks. Then there is expression. How have you expressed it? What are the words that you have used, the sentences that you have used, the content that you have chosen? Everything gets 1 mark each, except for the expression that is important. It gets 2 marks for you, which is the total will be summed up to 5 marks. So there is a speech and a debate for 5 marks each. Then there is a classified advertisement and a poster for 3 marks each in this creative writing skills section of yours. Moving on to section C. Section C is all about the literature. Whatever that you have read in Hornbill and snapshots, you are going to apply it here. Now, this could be variety of questions. There is multiple choice questions, objective type questions, short answer type questions. All of this, it will be a combination of all these questions. There will be long answer type questions as well. Let's find out. First one will be based on a poetry extract. You might be given an extract of the poetry. You'll have to read it, and based on that, a couple of questions will be given to you. 2 will be given. You'll have to answer any one of them. One extract of the poem will be given. There will be 2 options. You'll have to pick whatever that is easier for you, pick up whatever that you feel you're good at expressing, pick up and answer. This will be from your textbook, Hornbill. And how many marks is it for? It's for 3 marks. It could be multiple choice or objective type questions. Then there is a prose. 1 question from your prose will be given. 2 options will be there, and that is also from Hornbill. So from Hornbill, 1 question from poetry, 1 question from prose. How many marks each? 3 and 3. That's done. The final one from the prose. The question will be from prose, but the textbook, look at the textbook. It's from snapshot. 1 poetry, Hornbill, 1 prose, Hornbill, then 1 prose from your snapshot textbook. That is for 4 marks. 3 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks. You'll have to answer 1 question. You'll have 2 options. Clear? Moving on to the next one, in section C, it is a combination of some short answer type and long answer type questions. So in this section, you'll have to answer 2 short answer type questions, which will be from your textbook Hornbill, and it will give you 3 marks each, which is for total 6 marks. Over here, there is 1 short type of question from the textbook snapshot again. Over here, 1 from prose, 1 from poetry, that is from Hornbill textbook, clear. Here from snapshot, 1 short type question, which will give you 3 marks. Then there is long answer type question from your Hornbill textbook, which will give you 6 marks. And another long answer question from your textbook, snapshots, which is also for 6 marks. This could be either from prose or from poetry, referring to an event that has happened, talking about, asking you to infer the meaning of the poem, what was happening in the poem. It could be based on all of this. So there are 2 short answer type questions from Hornbill textbook, 1 short answer type question from snapshot, and 1 long answer type question from Hornbill, 1 long answer type question from your textbook snapshots. Clear? That's for 6 marks each. That is how your examination pattern or your question paper pattern looks like. Finally, coming to the marks breakup. What are the things that the marks are allotted to? First up, your reading skills will be assessed, and the marks allotted to that is 26 marks. In your reading section that you saw over there, you had to read the passage and get marks, right? You had to answer the questions. That will fetch you 26 marks. And here, creative writing skills part gives you 23 marks. Then there is literature. Every question from Hornbill and snapshot will fetch you 31 marks. The total will be 80. You will be writing an exam for 80 marks. Very easy to get marks in the creative writing skills, reading skills, right? But I want you to ace the part of the literature as well this time. Then there is listening skills for 5 marks. This is the part of your internal assessment. Your listening skills, your speaking skills will be assessed and will be awarded 5 marks each. You'll also be given a project which will be for 10 marks. Totally, your marks will be summed up to 100. 80 plus 20 will be your final marks. Now, I hope this was clear. The whole peek through and tour of what you should read, what are the books that you should go and buy right away today itself, and how is your examination pattern, what does your question paper look like, what is the overall marks breakup. I'm sure you're all very excited. Keeping the exams aside, you're very excited to look at the content that is there in the textbook. You will enjoy each and every, I promise that you'll enjoy each and every session that we are going to take up from here. I'm very excited to see all of you, meet all of you in every session, come up with a lot of doubts. I would very much appreciate doubts and come up with a lot of ideas of your own. It's not just about appreciating. I've told you this time, it's also about creating your own ideas, putting your ideas into reality and creating your own content. It could be articles, it could be stories, it could be poetry. Let's contribute to the world of literature after we finish up learning as well. That should be the whole point of learning, is it not? So on that note, I'll see you all in the upcoming session. Very excited to meet all of you. All the very best for your journey from here. Thank you so much.